Hello, everyone, and welcome to 10 Analytics Podcast. Here, where data, technology, and personal growth intersect. I am your host, Significant Sheyi, and today we are set to dive deep into the art of career transitions, where we'll be focusing on the topic how to pivot successfully into new fields. Guess what? Today is very exciting because we have someone who is our guest for this episode. His name is Victor Asanmi. And Victor is someone who embodies resilience and adaptability. Yes. From his beginnings in biochemistry to roles in the marketing, customer service, and now as a business security specialist and CIAM consultant, Victor has navigated multiple career landscapes with purpose and passion. Now, beautiful thing you know is that Victor is not just a professional with all these diverse background I mentioned. He's also a top LinkedIn voice and a thought leader in cybersecurity and business strategy. And so today, I want us to sit back. I want us to open our minds as we delve into continuous learning and the courage for each one of us to embrace change. So Victor, welcome to the show. I'm so happy and excited to see you for the second time virtually. Hi, Victor.
I'm all right. Thank you very much, Shay. It's nice to see you again, and I hope you're doing well.
Yes. I am doing very well. Good to see you once again. Okay, let me just ask this question, Victor. On a typical Monday evening, what would you be doing if you're not recording this podcast with me?
I'll probably be spending time with my family. Yeah. I'm an indoor person, so I'll probably just be chilling with my family.
All right, chilling with the big boys, chilling with your family. That makes so much sense. Beautiful. I probably would be on a phone call, hanging out with my friend, chatting at this moment. Yes, past it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Victor, we're going to look into a very incredible topic today, and particularly your journey is one inspiring, okay? And this evening, we want to see how you've been able to do this. And the question I have for you, which is going to be my first question for you, Victor, is can you walk us through your career journey and the motivation behind each transition? You seem to be a man who wears many hats. So just walk us through your career journey and the motivation behind each transition experience.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity, and also hello to all our viewers wherever you are across the world. Thanks for tuning in. So about my career, like I said the other time, it's been an interesting journey. I started off as a business developer even before the end of my NYSC back in 2013. I got a job with a friend. I would say he's older than I am, but we were good friends at the time, and we started this company together. We were writing proposals to big multinationals, government, state governments. The biggest contract we had at the time was with the Osun State government to the street numbering of Osun State, and it was an exciting time for us back then. But then I sort of moved out of Lagos because I didn't like Lagos. I wanted to go elsewhere.
You started in Lagos?
No more beef with Lagos, and no offense to Lagosians, but it wasn't just for me. So I wanted to move elsewhere. And prior to that time, I had the opportunity to travel to Abuja. And when I got there, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was so serene. It looked really normal, unlike Lagos. So I was like, I think I want to move here. But I didn't want to move until I got a job. So fortunately for me, I got another job in marketing. And I was like, okay, let's just try it out. And that was how I found myself in marketing in Abuja. But not quite long. I got another opportunity where I was marketing. I went to speak with a guy, a Lebanese guy. He used to run, I'm not even sure if the company's still there. but he used to manage a huge showroom where they manufactured and sold furniture in Abuja. Huge. They had the head office in Lagos as well. So I was just talking to him about different products, and he just told me, "Do you want to work here?" Well, why did you ask? He said, "I like you. I like the way you talk. You sound like, you look like you're passionate about your work to me. Can you bring that type of passion here?" And I was like, "Yeah, if you're going to pay me more."
This time you're done serving, right?
Yeah, I was not serving. Yeah, because this was in 2014, November-ish, 2014. And he said, yeah, that he was going to pay me more. That how much was I earning? Or how much was I earning at that time? I told him, and he said he was going to double it. He's like, really? Yes. I said, I'll resume. I told him I'll resume the next Monday. And he was,
oh my God.
I asked him, when can I resume? Then he said, can I resume the next Monday? So I was like, oh no, I can't. It should give me at least 2 weeks so I could tender my resignation and, just get myself ready. I was like, okay, that's fine, 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, lo and behold, I was there. Now, he didn't know what he employed me for. It's interesting. He didn't know what he employed me for. But when I resumed and I asked him, so what's my job? And this is funny because I only took the job because it was going to double my pay.
Double your pay?
Yeah. So, I was young at that time. I didn't really care about consequences. I wouldn't do the same right now because I would have to put a lot of things into consideration. But then I was like, yeah, I was going for the money, and I later regretted it, but but then he called me into his office on my first day of resumption, and he just told me that there is a problem that he was facing, and he was hoping I could help with it. So I said, well, what's the problem? So he said he told me he wanted to be able to track what each customer bought over time. So he wants to be able to tell what they like. That's all. So I said, that's fine. And fortunately for me, I already had Excel skills. So I created a database. And I think that was my first major techie thing to do. So I sort of gathered all the customers. I think at that time they had about, I was able to find about 5,000 thereabout customers. So I created a database for them, their names, their address, and then the things they bought in the last 5 years. The things they bought from our store.
From the company. Yeah,
from the company. So I started from there. And then it was manual, it was painful, but I enjoyed it, and it was an interesting learning curve for me. So from there, I began to map the things that a particular customer, I began to map the things they bought in years. So he wanted to check. So if there was a particular customer who bought a full settee 5 years ago, then we would reach out to them and say, oh, it's time for you to change your settee. We have this. Understand it. So he was really excited that I was able to do that for him. And I would say my tech journey began unofficially just by me building and maintaining a database of customers at that time, and also sort of extracting insights from the data I was able to gather and manage. Fast forward, I lost that job because I had the fallout with the manager. Because then I used to be a different person. I was really stubborn then. So because there was an issue, and I was told to apologize to the manager, and I said I wasn't going to apologize because I didn't do it. Yes, because of that, I was laid off, and that was it. And then at that time, I wanted to do something else. And it just occurred to me, and it was just me doing some sort of soul searching, that what else can I do with this skill that I've been teaching myself? And then I just made up my mind to go into tech. I saw future in it, and I'm sure I must have seen all sorts of pointers, maybe friends who were in software development. I don't really remember, but something made me look towards tech. And I started doing my research. Okay, what can I do in tech? And remember, I mentioned an acronym the other day, CIA, capacity, interest
and ambition. Yeah.
Very important. It worked for me. So at that time, my interest was to get into tech. I was so interested in tech, but I didn't really know where. And my capacity was that I believed I could learn anything, no matter how difficult. I believe I could learn anything. I have a functioning brain. I could at least try, And my ambition was to earn big bucks in tech. So those were the forces that drove me towards tech. And the next thing I did, and this was around 2016, the next thing I did was to enroll myself in a computer school. And that is when at tech. And I learned, it was more like a gap year to learn programming. And while I was doing that, I started with C language, C#, C++, and then I moved to web development from HTML to CSS to JavaScript, and then I learned PHP. And then I started making money, building websites on the side, or Fiverr as well, just do little projects for people here and there. And one of my tutors at that time took interest in me. He saw me as a serious lad. And he said, there's an opportunity in cybersecurity. Are you interested? And I was like, I don't really know much about cybersecurity. And he gave me about, 2 months to just go learn whatever I could learn on cybersecurity. And I took the advantage, and it just, I was more like an attaché, not intern, because I was being paid, but they just needed someone that could do certain things for them. I don't want to call myself a consultant because I was too new. I was still a rookie. But
can we say a trainee?
Not trainee. It was like a consultant, but not a consultant. And the reason why I said it,
low budget consultant.
Yeah, something like that. So that company, they wanted someone who could explain cybersecurity in trainings. So they had the client, and they introduced cybersecurity to the client, as a training package and penetration testing. Somehow they didn't have a technical person that would do it for them. But I guess it was business, and they didn't want to lose that business. I guess that was the game. So I said, okay, I would try my best. And I delivered about 4 security awareness trainings for them. And they were me on basically more like, so whatever work I do, I get paid for it. I wasn't really employed, but that was the arrangement at the time. So then when it was time for penetration testing, I had to read up on it. I had to learn how to understand networks, network infrastructure, how to audit open ports, closed ports. I had to learn all these things somehow on the fly. But it helped. It worked out. I did what I could do, and it worked out because, fortunately for me, they just wanted to check their exposure. They didn't really need me to fix anything. It was just to check. So I could do it at that time. And that was how I got into cybersecurity. Mind you, the work I did while in Abuja was of a business analyst. Well, I didn't know that name at the time.
Yes.
Because I enjoyed it and I wanted to sort of build on it, but with tech. Then I began to find ways to connect both worlds. Unfortunately, I've been able to find a way around it, which I hope we will be able to talk about in the course of this session. But overall, that was my journey from business development to marketing and then to customer experience that transformed into business analysis, and then tech that started with programming and then metamorphosed into cybersecurity. And I've held on to that. And by the way, while I was working these short gigs, or this my low budget consultancy, like you called it, got an opportunity to work with the UN, and that was a game changer for me. Again, I believe I was still young, and the money I was being offered was much, and pass it over. But the thing is, it was an IT role. It was an IT analyst role. I was supposed to support all of the IT projects, all of the donor-funded IT projects. I was supposed to support it. It wasn't cybersecurity, but I felt comfortable to take it because it was still tech, right? Hoping that in the near future, I will focus on something. But, at that time, I was taking everything upon myself, try to learn and also try to survive as a young man. So eventually, when I was relocating to the UK, I did sort of audit of all my skills and just try to position myself for opportunities, in the UK and on a more global level. So I hope I've been able to explain my straightforward journey to doing it. That makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the journey has several curves at some point in time. This way, come in here, find an intersection here, do a roundabout somewhere else.
To relate to it. I hope, anyways, yeah.
I believe a lot of persons will be able to relate to it one way or the other. There will be similarities in this journey. Yeah. Okay. You made mention about something which I would want you to touch briefly. And that was when you talked about the I, C, and A, ICAR. All right. That has worked for you. And I remember in our previous conversation during an alumni engagement, you actually mentioned about it. So we have some individuals here who have been a part of the alumni community engagement, and so they wouldn't have an understanding about it. So if you could just say in some few minutes what you mean by ICA and how that helped you right here.
Okay, so you can rearrange it any way you want it. AIC, CIA, ICA, it's fine. There is no strict arrangement for it. The important is to understand what each letter stands for. C stands for capacity. I stands for interest.
Interest.
A stands for ambition.
Ambition.
Yeah. You can turn it whatever way you want, like I said. So let's start with C. What do I mean by capacity? Capacity is more of doing an audit of your current skill set, your current things you can do, things you've done before, or things you believe you can do. So in my own case, I only used Excel to build a database. But somewhere in my mind, I had to believe that I'm capable of learning programming. I'm capable of building websites. I'm capable of doing something in tech. And that was the capacity at the time. I believed I could read, I could learn, I could understand. And part of my capacity is that it might take too long if I started learning things by myself. Why not go to a computer school to help fill in the gaps? Auditing my capacity. And for some people, they're very good with numbers. That's their capacity. For some people, they're very good with catching up with trends. They always know the latest thing in town. Some people, they're good with organizing events. Some people, they're your capacity, whatever it is. So you have to figure that out. And then moving on to I, which is your interest.
Interest.
What you like? What can you do for free? But then
What can you do for free?
Translate into money that you can easily make money from it, and in other words, your interest could also be your likes. Your interest could also be your hobbies. Your interest could also be for example, in my case, I was interested in making money, and absolutely nothing wrong, in
having such interest. Yeah.
Things because of money. Just make sure that it's not only because of money, but there is nothing wrong with doing stuff because of money. Money makes the world go round. And I would be fooling myself if I said money wasn't important. Money is important. But then, whatever your interest is, you have the responsibility of finding it out, fine-tuning it, combine that with your capacity, right? So if your capacity is to organize events, let's say that's your capacity, you know how to organize popping events that everybody's going to have a good time. Let's say that's your capacity.
Yeah.
Or your capacity is you're good with numbers. Any date, anytime, you're easily able to see the pattern in numbers, or you're good with calculations or whatever. That's your capacity. Now, your interest is, I think I'm interested in community engagement, or I think I'm interested in organizing tech-related events, or I think I'm interested in, I don't know, whatever it is you're interested in. Couple that interest with your capacity, and then your ambition, which I think is the most important, because if you don't have a vision of what you want or what you want to get out of life, it might be very difficult for you to visualize your destination. So your ambition is very key. In my own case, my big ambition is to be a big-time consultant. I want to be able to travel around the world, solving problems for multinationals, for SMEs, whatever. Just be in one country today, finish my work with them, and I'm already on the next flight to another country. That everybody needs my services. That's the kind of ambition I sort of have for myself in terms of my career. I don't want to work and retire on my 9-to-5 grind. That's not the kind of future I want for myself. So, in your own case, for everybody that's listening, what ambition do you have? Do you see yourself one day starting your own? Do you see yourself one day solving a particular problem? That could be your ambition. So you combine your capacity with your interest and find a way to key it into your ambition. And I think if you're able to do that, then the sky is your limit. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. I think this is going to answer a general question where people say they do not have the right background to switch careers. I mean, if we look at you for an example right now, you'd realize there was not this exact background that we have, but one thing led to another led to another, and there were various stepping stones to where you are currently. So for individuals who may have it at the back of their mind, oh, you know what, I did have that experience. I didn't do marketing where I would have to think of using Excel. I don't even have experience in Excel and all. This is something for you. Just heard from Victor. whether you will have for whatever form you want to say it, ICA, ACI, whatever. Look into this, examine, do a soul searching using Victor's word, do a soul searching and come up with what you can do. And yours do not necessarily have to be tech. It could be anything. This applies to other fields, transitioning from one career into another. So now I want to know, this journey definitely came with its own obstacles and stumbling blocks, some things we like to call challenges, etc. Victor, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced in switching industries? Yeah.
I think the major challenge would be, first of all, convincing myself that I could do it. And I think a lot of people don't take that step because they're afraid, they're worried about imposter syndrome, they're worried about not being able to cut it, they're worried about, a whole lot of things. And I think to a large extent, their worries are valid to a large extent. However, fear shouldn't be something, it shouldn't hold you down. It should actually propel you. And it's okay to do it afraid. Why? Because in my case, that was it. I wasn't sure what the future would be like. Or I knew the future I wanted, but I wasn't sure if I was going to get there, but I was willing to try. So part of the challenges I faced, first of all, was believing I could do it. And I was able to overcome that because I just felt like I'm a smart guy. I should be able to do this. Another challenge, and I'm picking this from my different switching stages or switching phases. Another challenge I faced at the point was not having the right support. It happened that I was unable to blend in a particular role. I was unable to blend in. New country, new role. A lot of things were different, and I was unable to blend in. And I suffered for it for about 3 months. I was always anxious. I was always on the edge, and for the better part of the first 3 months, I was confused.
You're making me to want to guess what experience you're referring to, talking about. Hope that was not making it one.
Don't guess. Let's just leave it at that. The challenge of not having the right support system, it's real, and it happened to me. And another challenge I would say is, I think this is the biggest one, is learning new things. It's not easy to learn new things, and with the way technology is these days, the landscape, the innovations, and that sort of thing, it's so constant, it's so consistent, and it's so dynamic. Something that's dynamically constant.
And dynamically constant.
It's always changing. And I think for most people, most of us in tech, we can attest to that point, that things don't just stay the way it is for a long period of time. It's always changing.
Very true.
You have the responsibility to keep developing yourself so that you don't get left behind. Catching up with these changes, I think it's challenging. I still find it challenging right now. And another thing, that I think is challenging about tech, in my own journey, is also certifications. And I think we will, hopefully we'll talk about it in more detail in the course of this session. But then, I think certification is challenging because it costs money. Last year, 2024, I spent about £3,000 just on certification, on trainings and certifications. I find that, and 2 years or 3 years ago, every year I always get a new certification in my own case. And, it costs money. You have to study for it and you have to pass it. But I haven't passed all of my certifications, but at least I've passed. I've only failed one anyways. Yeah, but all the ones I've passed on the first try. And it's a lot of dedication and commitment as well. So those are the challenges I can remember for now. Yeah.
All right, that is very fine, Victor. Concerning challenges, okay, you heard Victor. Victor mentioned lack of support, learning new things, and sometimes even the fear of starting out. And I think this is something that's holding many people back. The fear of starting out. You want to explore an uncharted territory, and you do not know how it is going to be. But Victor is saying he also experienced something like that, and it's not new. It's not peculiar to you. It's common to everyone. So yeah, we're going to go into certification. You mentioned certification, and I can see loads of some of the certifications that you have. I'm talking about from CIAM to CompTIA Security, Prince 2, Agile, and many more. You all have this certification. And if I would just want to ask, how did you decide which certification were right for your transition path? At what point in time? Now, let me give an example to explain this. You see some people who, I get to speak with several individuals almost every day, and you hear the guys say, "Oh, hi Shay, I want to take on this course in cybersecurity, but at the same time I'm concerned, should I go on with the CompTIA AI certification first, or should I get myself adept with the skill on cybersecurity? Which should I do first?" So in your own situation, how did you decide what certification was right for you at a particular point in time in your career path?
So I'll give you different examples, and I hope that my examples will help somebody out there clarify certain things. So when I wanted to get my first certification, my first cybersecurity certification, I just did my research, and I started with the simplest, most relevant. So when it comes to certifications, first of all, you have to think about the relevance of whatever certification you want to get. Relevance. Yes. So for example, CompTIA Security Plus is entry-level cybersecurity certification, and it's most popular in the US than in the UK. Another example is project management. If you want to get certified in project management, if you get a PMP certification, it's more recognized in the US, Canada, and that side.
North America region.
Yeah, but in the UK, there's more preference for Prince 2.
Yeah.
Because the UK government, I think the military or the Navy or whatever, they developed Prince 2 as a methodology, and then it became popular. So the UK is they have what's the word now? Sentimental.
There's a bias.
Yes, there's a sentiment for Prince 2, and the same thing for business analysis. IIBA is more popular in the US, in the UK, in Canada, and it's just becoming more popular in the UK now. But the most popular in the UK is the BCS business analysis diploma. So again, you have to consider relevance. And when I say relevance has to do with location. Some certifications are location based. Relevance has to do with the seniority level, or if it's entry level, mid level, senior level, you have to consider that as well. For example, if you're just starting out in cybersecurity, it doesn't make sense for you to just jump in and seek for CISSP. You most likely fail it. Yeah, because you might not understand a lot of the concepts if you haven't really experienced it. So in that regard, certifications, you have to do your research. You have to know what's needed in the market you're targeting. Right? I'll give you an example. So I decided to, because I've been all over cybersecurity. And when I say all over cybersecurity, I've been involved in different aspects of it. SOC analysts, or security operations, penetration
testing, vulnerability assessment,
training, risk assessment, identity and access management. And then I just I took stock of my skills, my interest, my ambition, and then I decided to focus on IAM. And in IAM, and this is another part, but I think talking about this, I'm already digressing too much. But I'm just going to mention, in case I don't have the opportunity to talk about it, the fact that I'm focusing on IAM does not mean that I'm leaving every other thing to fall apart. And the fact that I'm focused on IAM does not mean that I'm going to stop learning. For example, I'm starting a course very soon on how to build AI agents. And I want to learn how to build AI agents so that I can add more value as an IAM specialist. Very good example. Part of my capacity, what I thought of before deciding to stick to IAM, is the fact that I have experience coding in Python. And as an IAM specialist, it's an added value if you're able to write automation scripts. So I've been able to find different capacities that I have, aligning with my interests, aligning with my ambition. I told you I want to be a consultant. And then I decided for myself that IAM is the way to go for me. So about certifications, there was no IAM certification in the UK. The only recognized one I was able to find was IMI, the Identity Management Institute, and they're based in the US. But I still took it because I believe that there's value in it, and it's the only body that I was able to find, for identity certification. So it's about research. First thing, research. Reach out to people, ask questions. If there's anybody who's confused about any of these things, business analysis, cybersecurity, project management, please feel free to reach out to me.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Victor. Okay, reach out to him. You heard him already. Feel free to reach out to him. Don't worry, towards the end of the podcast, I'll let you know how you can reach out to Victor. So, Victor, let's just do something. It's a quick icebreaker and something I like to call myth. There are several statements I'm going to make. So what I want you to do is you tell us if it's a myth or if it's a fact. Okay, so you debunk it or you support it. If it's a myth or if it's a fact. Are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
It's not a chance to win $1 million analytics. No, I said $1 million analytics.
I don't know where this pen's at, but
no, we're going to create an institution where it can be spent.
Okay.
All right, let's get started. So the first statement is you need another university degree to change your career. Is that a myth or fact?
It's a myth.
Why do you say so? In 60 seconds.
Because nobody really cares about degrees these days, except if you're in some sort of professional settings or professional line. For example, you need a medical degree to be a doctor, to be able to practice. You need a law degree, lawyer, But in other areas, tech, for example, you don't need a degree. If you have it, it's a nice to have at this point. It's a nice to have, not a need to have.
Yeah, all right, fantastic. So, many careers transition can happen with certifications, bootcamp, and even sometimes self-learning. So the second statement here is changing careers. So people think changing careers means starting from the bottom all over again. What do you think about that? Myth or fact?
Well, I think it's very important for people to learn that it's okay to, you don't need to start all over again. It's okay to start from where you are with what you already know. Again, CIA, where you are, what you already know, that's your capacity. Couple that with your interests and aligning with your ambition. So if you're able to do this, then you won't be too far off. For example, somebody who wants to get into tech and they have a background in law, or they have a legal background. There is a space for you to exist in cybersecurity under GRC, for example. You can even be whatever, writing policies, auditing, reviewing policies, things like that. Because lawyers are good with writing stuff, and they know to say they know how to frame stuff in a specific way, like very clear, and sometimes intentionally they make it ambiguous. But there is a place for you. If you have a legal background, there's a place for you in cybersecurity. So it's all about you finding out what you already know, what you already have, where you already are, aligning with your interest and aligning with your ambition. So again, it's you don't have to start all over again.
Yeah, you don't have to start all over again. I mean, it's that simple. And this, while you're speaking, brought a question which I want to ask, but I just want us to end this icebreaker shortly. And that's where we're talking about transferable skills, because you're saying that from what you already have, you can leverage that into the new position or into the change you want to achieve. Okay, but the third statement I want to make is, it's too late to switch careers, probably after 30. What do you think about that? A myth? A fact?
I think 30 years, you're still a young person. You're still a young person. So 30 is not a big deal. I was hoping you were going to say 50 or 60. Then I would say at that point it's difficult. But do you want us to stick with 30?
Okay, I think let's put it on 45.
Okay, so 45. The future is not.
I didn't hear that.
However, and the reason why I said the future is not so bright is just because there are 20-something year olds that already have 5 years experience, that already have 10 years experience. Especially in developed countries, people already have 5 years experience or 4 years experience even before they graduate from the university.
You mean it? Sure.
Well, if you have to compete with those people as a 45-year-old candidate, then you have to really, really bring something very significant to the table.
Exceptional. Yeah.
And even at 45, either it's too late or not too late, I don't think that's the problem. It's a matter of the mind of the person in question. Is your mind still flexible? Are you still open enough to learn new things?
To
learn from younger generation? Are you still open enough to admit that you're wrong, or to admit that you don't know certain things? Or unlike some people, because they have 20 years experience, nobody can talk to them. So
yeah,
I think it's a myth. I would go for myth. However, there are a lot of factors that come to play.
Mm-hmm. All right, fantastic. Okay, thank you very much. We just came back from the quick break, and I'm going to pick on the question I said I would ask you. So now, Victor, in your journey, how did you identify transferable skills that helped you in new roles? How did you identify transferable skills that helped you in new roles?
For example, right now, I'm a business analyst with a local authority, and because of my tech background, I'm able to help with IT-related requirements gathering, IT policy formulation. Because I'm actually the only technical person in my team. If I didn't have that background in tech, I wouldn't be the shiny star business right now. And also, when I was working because I worked in the Netherlands for a while, and they needed someone who is a city, who was whatever. They needed somebody who is, I'm not even sure if who was okay.
Yeah.
Who a cybersecurity professional, but also can manage project, or somebody who had expertise or experience or certification in project management, which I have.
Cybersecurity professional with a touch of project management.
Which I am, and that was why I got the job. As a matter of fact, reached out to me on LinkedIn. We like your profile. Can you do this for us? We're going to pay you so amount of money for so period of time. I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm coming. So, transferable skills, you can't overstate the importance of transferable skills. But I think where the problem is for a lot of people is they're unable to identify what their transferable skills are. And this is my assignment for everybody that's listening to me or probably watching me right now. Take a stock of your skills and divide them into two: your hard skills or your core skills and your soft skills. And be very, very sincere and honest with yourself. In terms of your core skills or your technical skills, and those are the ones that were referred to as hard skills as well.
Hard skills.
Yeah. Make a column and list every hard skill that you can think of. From your experience, from your learnings, from your portfolio, whatever it is you've done before, whatever it is you've built before, whatever it is you've learned before, list it there. Maybe you haven't applied some of them, but you know that you have the skill. Maybe you haven't applied your programming skills before, or you learned it. List it there. And on the other column, list your soft skills. And again, be as sincere with yourself as possible. Do you think you are a good team player? Do you think that you're somebody that your team can rely on? Has your team relied on you in the past before? Have you gotten any comments, no matter how trivial, no matter how informal? As somebody said, "Oh, thank you for doing this for me. I really appreciate it. If you hadn't done it, I would have been screwed. Or if you hadn't done this, the project would have failed," or something like that. If somebody giving you a genuine compliment about your reliability as a team member or as a team player, also, you find it easy to communicate with people. There are some people, myself included, that we don't really like to use technical terms. I don't like to use technical terms, except if I have to. And that means that, except if my audience is a technical audience.
Yeah.
Or if it's not, I just prefer to say things in plain English, right? So there are some people that they have that skill. They can communicate really difficult or really complex scenarios, really complex concepts in plain words or in plain English. If that's your skill, it's you have good communication skills. Are you patient? You can you can follow someone how do they say, back to back or patiently. You are a very patient person. Take a stock of that skill. Or are you very good at working with other people? You're an exceptional collaborator.
Yeah.
On that column. And when you're able to mark that, if you can print it, fine. But that might be an overkill. But if you can save it somewhere on your computer, at any time you want to apply for a job, bring up that list and let it guide you. Because it's possible that you don't remember that you have certain transferable skills. What exactly do you mean transferable skills? They are just skills that you already have and you can apply it across different domains. You can apply across different scenarios. If you're a good collaborator, it doesn't matter if you're a lawyer. It doesn't matter if you're a software designer or a software developer rather. It doesn't matter if you're a cybersecurity professional. Because you have to work with other people, that skill would always be useful, whenever you're working with other people. So it's regardless of what your experience or your past roles have been like, it's just a matter of you being able to apply it to different roles, different scenarios, and different context.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you for that. I mean, this is an exercise. Go ahead and have that self audit with yourself. I'm checking time and I can see that.
Well, if that's okay with you.
What did you say? I
said whoever decides to take that exercise, they can share with me on LinkedIn. We can refine it together, and I can give them some pointers as well.
Fantastic. You just heard Victor say that. Okay. Now, Victor, I want to know, what role did networking and mentorship play in your career development? I think, as much as I'm conscious of time, but this is something very important we need to ask ourselves. We hear about networking, we hear about mentorship. So in your own career development, what role did networking and mentorship play? Could you share with us?
Quick one. Networking, I find it very difficult to ask people for favors, and I also find it very difficult to say hi to people first. But then,
are you introverted?
maybe. But if you don't say hi to me, I'll most likely not say hi to you. And I just feel like maybe it's me trying to respect people's space, or it's me not wanting to get a negative reaction from you, so I'll just rather leave you alone. But then I've tried to change that. I've been working on that, and I've been putting myself out there more. Okay. And right now, I have a number of people in my corner that I would never have met them if I didn't open my mouth. You know, someone said to me recently that closed mouths don't get fed. You know, so networking for me it hasn't been a lot to be sincere, but the little network that I've been able to build has helped me in ways that money can't buy. I don't want to mention people's name, but just doing stuff for people, just messaging people on LinkedIn, just attending people's events have helped me but I've created an opportunity for me to build relationship with people that I would ordinarily never have met. And in terms of mentoring, I don't have a mentor per se, but there are a lot of people that I learn from. When they do stuff, I learn how they've done it, and I try to get inspiration from it. And the reason why I say I don't have a mentor is big people, influential people, rich people, wealthy, successful people, they're always very busy. So I don't want to be that guy that's always asking them, oh, can you look through this for me? I'm not saying it's wrong doing it. I just not that kind of guy. But what I do, my hack is to find a way to add value to them and hoping that they will make themselves available for me whenever I need them.
Coming from a place of value to them so that you can get their response whenever you need them. I think that's very fantastic. Thank you. Please, let's take note of that. Okay, now, Victor, I want to say something. If you had the opportunity to travel back in time, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. If you had the opportunity to travel back in time and you would want to write your journey, okay? Some people are watching. You've mentioned several things at the start of this session, this recording, from our ICA interest capacity and ambition, transferable skills, challenges you faced, etc., etc. Different touch point of your career journey. What is something you would do differently? What's something you would do differently to get to where you are now, or even surpass where you are from your experience? Our listeners would want to know that.
I've tried to think about this, before as well. To be honest, I think my journey has been fantastic because right now I know little things about a lot of things, and it's all coming together now, and it's all helping me. But that's not the question you asked. So let me answer your question. If I would do something different, I think I would have studied something different in the university.
Not biochemistry?
Because I don't see any need that chemistry will get to me. Maybe it's there somewhere that it's just me not being able to see it. But
yeah,
have studied something different in the university. Maybe business related course,
Business management.
yeah, something like that, or business administration, whatever. Because right now I'm still hoping to get my MBA, but I can't afford it right now. But I'll get it whenever I can afford it. But it's part of what I wanted, and that's what I'm building with my startup. I want to be able to show people that cybersecurity is business than tech, because I believe that if business owners, if business leaders, if we're able to convince them to see cybersecurity as business rather than as tech, then we would make a lot of progress in getting their buy-in. We'll make a lot of progress in bringing them on board.
Okay. I mean, this is going to bring me to my last. Look like you took it off from me. I want to know why we bring this podcast recording to a close. What are you currently excited about? What are you doing? I can see on your screen, you're a co-founder. I mean, just tell us about it. Tell us about something exciting right now in your field, what you're doing, even as we begin to draw the curtain to a close.
So right now, I'm excited about what I'm building. Like I said, I'm building a solution that brings the best of cybersecurity together with the best of business analysis. And I'm delivering cybersecurity as a business more than as a technology. Of course, there's technology around it, but at the center of it is business, not just fancy hardware or fancy software somewhere. It's about the business itself. So cybersecurity helping business to grow, not as a barrier, but as an enabler. That's what I'm building right now. And to be honest with you, I've been on the sidelines regarding AI because I thought everybody is just excited about it for nothing. So I was just on the side.
Beef with AI.
Beef, but just the way people are going about it. Everybody is doing AI, and I was just like, what's the word now? I was observing, but I've been able to get to that point where I see that AI has come to stay, number one. And number two, it's either you're a consumer or a producer. And that's why I'm not very big on social media, because I feel like a lot of people are consumers and they're missing out on a lot of value. You just go there, just keep swiping and scrolling your brain away. Even if you want to live on social media, create something, produce something. So that's the mindset approaching AI with. And that's why I mentioned earlier that I'm going to be learning how to build AI agents that I can incorporate to the solution I'm currently building. It's the solution I'm currently building for cybersecurity, merging or blending with business analysis. Well, I hope that's exciting. That's exciting enough.
It is, and we can't wait to see the amazing thing and business solution that you are going to do. I mean, thank you very much. It's been an exciting time learning. And for me personally, even as much as I am the host for this session, there are certain things I'll have to do to go back, look at them, do a self-audit, and know the next course to chart in my career journey. Thank you very much, Victor. It's been amazing. People would want to see, where can you find Victor? I'm just going to tell you, see, if you're checking anywhere, you may not see him except from his home address. However, just go on LinkedIn, all right? Victor Asanmi, you're going to see him there. And trust me, you can reach out to him. He mentioned already. In fact, on some of the exercises he gave, he mentioned that you could reach out to him and he's going to see how he could give you some pointers or direction that you may need. I think you should take advantage of this. It's been some very beautiful minutes listening to you, Victor. I must say, the first time, which was the last time I heard you speak, I was intrigued by our conversation. And I'm glad that I have the opportunity to do this again with you. And probably in the future, some other time, also have the opportunity to do that. Please keep inspiring, keep doing what you know how to do very best. We are rooting for you. Seriously.
Thank you.
All right.
Nice to talk to you. I hope to see you soon in future.
Yeah. Probably when I come to London, if you're staying in London, we're going to hang out.
Yeah, if I haven't gone elsewhere, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Bye for now. Cheers.
Take care.